One of Brendan Waye's favorite pastimes is sitting down over a cup of hot or cold tea to have a chum chat or discuss politics, world affairs, and perhaps hockey. There is something about tea that settles us down just a bit. Brendan is a tea sommelier who blogs about and embraces the wide world of tea, and it is my pleasure to welcome Brendan Waye back to Studio 4 to tell us more.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
We need some calming down.
We do. After last night, I know.
After last night, that 4-zip, and we're at 2-2, and Game 5 coming up. Let's have tea.
My butterflies are still there.
Well, otherwise we'll have to go to AA because we're pouring the gin.
Yeah. Well,
don't you know?
Yeah. Well, what we're going to do today is we're going to show you how to make iced tea from fresh leaves into the cup in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
And this is a really neat process because anybody can do it. Just got to have some nice fresh tea leaves, some ice, and a brewing device, and it all works out really well. And we're going to do
this brewing device you've brought me before, it's called a chaiwala.
Yeah, and this is generation 2. As you can see, it's a little smaller, a little more chic looking. I went with plexiglass instead of wood. And you're actually, there's a new tea house opening up in Gastown this weekend that's got 2 of these on their counter, and they're going to be serving up all their teas on the chaiwala this weekend.
Oh,
so
great.
If you want to pop in, absolutely go
in
down.
Gastown?
Gastown, in Goler Mews. It's called a Prima-D Premium Tea House.
Okay, I'll have to do that because they have great stores in Gastown now.
It is.
Great food in Gastown
Very nice area coming on really good.
It's revitalized amazingly.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to take some of the tea.
Right,
this is a nice one called, this is a green tea. It's called Green Mystique.
What's the blue in it?
The blue are called cornflower blossoms.
Really?
Yeah, it's more of a
beautiful.
It's more of a visual thing than a flavor thing. It's just so when you're looking at it, we're going to put in a couple little scoops.
It's for the Canucks. It's
yes,
our Canuck
there
tea.
You go. It's a Canuck color.
It's got a little blue Canuck in it. Yes, so that's called, what's that again? Tisane?
We need the hot water.
No, we need the hot water.
Yes.
Yes, I wondered how you were going to do that.
Yes, the hot water is
I didn't see any hot water, and I thought, are you going to brew it cold? You couldn't do that.
Yeah, I couldn't do it cold.
The secret to a well-brewed cup of tea, loose leaf, any other way, is what? Temperature of the water,
Temperature of the water and the quality of the leaves and steeping time. There's 3 variables which you have to pay attention to. Good filtered water. City tap water in Vancouver is actually not that bad at all. I prefer to get the chlorine and the fluorine out of it because it does enhance the flavor. The second thing is fresh leaves. Don't buy stuff that's sitting in a glass jar in the window for 6 months. It's like, you know, your curtains, how they fade after sitting in the sun. Same thing happens to tea, but it happens in about 6 weeks. So fresh tea, and you can tell when you smell that, right? That's very aromatic.
Oh, yeah.
And if it's aromatic like that, you know it's fresh.
It's beautiful. And does it have to be vacuum packed to be fresh?
Not necessarily. Just the tin that you're buying it in should probably have...
Shouldn't you have something under that?
Not yet.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is
I'm sorry I'm helping so much.
That's okay. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of organic cane sugar as well.
Organic cane sugar. Could you add honey if you wanted? Or would that
do honey. Absolutely could do honey.
Okay, honey or sugar.
I have a cocktail shaker. So it's just a matter of taking your martini shaker, cocktail shaker, loading it up with ice.
All right.
Pretty much getting as much ice in there as you can because the hot tea will displace and melt the ice, right? So we're going to let that steep for a few minutes.
Put the timer on.
I'm going to put the timer on.
Okay.
So getting back to buying your tea, again, some of the things are make sure that the vendor you're buying it from has stored it properly. And again, aroma of the tea will tell that, and also the color, because the leaves will fade, just like anything sitting in the sun. So most loose leaf tea vendors take very good care of the tea that they're selling. Gets a little shaky in some of the restaurants and cafes, but ultimately, there's a lot of variety out there.
And when you ice a tea, immediately, well, I know you're going to show us how, but can you use green tea, white tea?
Pretty
Pink
much
tea, rooibos tea.
There's 2 different varieties here. This is actually, this one on this tray right here isn't even a tea. This is a herbal tisane. And it's basically chunks of bits of fruit and berries and rosehip and hibiscus. Great for kids, simply because it's like
got no caffeine.
No caffeine, tons of vitamin C. Great flavor. It tastes like the best Kool-Aid you've actually ever had.
I'm sure. Is it really sweet by its nature?
It's a little tart. The fruits and the berries, when they steep out in the hot water, they lend a tartness to the liquid.
But good alternative to Kool-Aid. And could you freeze it? Why couldn't you freeze it and make popsicles
out of it? Pink. They're bright pink to the popsicles. So
I bet they are. So what's in that again? In
so
the tisane?
What we're looking at here is you've got things like rosehip, hibiscus, you've got dried berries, red currants, some blackberry bits in there, and some apple chunks as well.
Sure,
So,
and the
yeah.
kids would like pink popsicles. You don't have to
Exactly.
say it's actually good for you.
Exactly.
No, you don't have to say that at all. So,
I'm gonna give this another
are we
stir.
ready?
We are almost ready.
Do you stir?
Do you
Do you stir your loose leaf tea at home? How do you make it at home? Just
I use a device like
Brendan
this.
wants a cup of tea.
Yeah, you remember
What if
when
you
I was
don't
here?
have a chaiwala?
Remember when I was here before? I had a
Yes.
larger device.
Yes.
Well, that device is similar. It's bigger. It holds 18 ounces, and that's what I put on top of my mug in the morning. Fill it with tea. Add the hot water. It's all done.
Time to go.
So then again, it's just a twist of the.
Right. This is such a cool device.
That one's
Okay.
spraying out a little sideways, but
And did you bring olives?
I didn't bring olives. Actually, olives and iced tea might be a good combination.
Well, you never know. I doubt it. Somehow.
So
But-
once it's steeped, you drop it into your pitch. You just pick it up. You give it a shake.
What a good idea. Use the
And
martini shaker for tea.
Absolutely, and it's the kind of the pizzazz behind it, and it gives us some aeration as
Right.
well. So you're getting a little bit of that beautiful fizz and froth on
Lovely.
there. And you just pull off the top
Sure, and you can add more ice or
and top it up with some ice.
very clever. You know, America is the land of iced tea, USA.
Yeah.
Iced tea is just a thing, and nobody buys it like over the counter. No, you make your own iced tea. You put
Sun tea.
sun tea,
Porch
put your
tea.
tea out in the summer, porch tea.
I'm a little suspicious about tea that sits overnight on the porch out on, you know,
I know.
our porches aren't quite warm enough here to steep the tea. But this way, try that, Fanny, because
Okay.
that's quite delicious.
And this is called?
This is the green mystique. Tell me if you can figure out what that exotic flavor is in there.
I love it. What is
It's
that?
got a hint of something in there. So what you're getting is you
It's
got
not coriander.
a Chinese eyebrow tea. It's called. It's a chun mi, and it's got an extract on there from quince.
From quince. Well, no wonder I didn't know.
There you go.
I
So
could have
there's
said choke cherry or
plethora
something.
of varieties you can make iced
A
tea
little
with.
bit of quince. So this,
Yeah.
and it's refreshing.
It
it's
is.
lovely.
And it's
How
got
would
a-
this be hot?
This is really good hot. A lot of the fruit-flavored teas that are being created nowadays are great iced. They're great hot. I prefer them iced because when I drink tea, I like to have my tea straight.
Right.
No
me too.
flavoring,
No,
just
no sugar.
pure
but you
white.
can't tell there's much sugar in that, and I saw you put a little in.
Yeah, there's exactly, because what the sugar does is it binds with the extracts, the flavor extracts, and it actually brings
Right.
it out. Without a little bit of added sugar, it's actually quite flat. You have a really hard time detecting what
Okay,
the flavor
are we going to
subtle
make this
nuances
one?
are. We can
Or is
certainly
that
make
too
that
much
one.
trouble?
Oh no, we can make that. As long as we have time. you know.
Well,
I
we
can-
have 4 minutes.
I can
so
make
it
tea all
takes
day.
Two,
Let's do that.
It takes two. How do you know how much to put in there per cup?
Well, what I'm doing is, because I'm not getting full scoops here, I'm actually putting in about 3 level teaspoons. Okay? So
Yes.
3 level teaspoons for a 12-ounce cup. You're going to steep it with roughly about half the amount of water you would if you're steeping a normal cup of tea.
Right.
So if you're making a 12-ounce cup, you steep with 6 ounces of water.
And
double
with-
strength, right? That's because you're diluting it over
Because
ice.
you're diluting it. Of course you are.
Absolutely, that's
In
exactly-
your martini shaker.
Yeah.
I use my martini shaker, so now I
For
can
other
use
purposes.
it for. I
There you
know.
go,
And we make proper martinis at our house, so now we can use it for other reasons. Now, if you didn't want sugar at all, would this be too bitter?
Not really, no.
No.
It's tart. You know, some people have a palate. Their palates are more inclined to tart beverages. I'm not a very tart guy. I ain't a tart.
I'm not a tart. You can be the tart today, okay? Well, let's see. But that said, like the ceremony of tea is so fabulous, and Irshad Manji, the
Yeah.
Muslim refusenik, and she's a great scholar, is coming tomorrow, and I think we might have a cup of chai.
You should, absolutely. Chai is a really great beverage to share with people. It's spicy, it's warm, and it's totally invigorating on the system. You got ginger, cloves, cardamom, cinnamon, black pepper.
And milk? Is there milk in
There's
chai?
milk. Typically, chai is milk, traditional chai, right? And this device is named, it's called a chaiwala.
Right.
And a chaiwala, if you look it up online, you'll find out that a chaiwala is a guy who actually serves spicy black Indian tea with milk in India. They were running around all over the streets everywhere with these big kettles and stacks of cups, and for a couple of rupees,
Right.
you throw a rupee in his pot, and he pours up a little cup for you. And typically the cups are a very cheap, environment-friendly clay, and just throw them on the
Right.
ground and smash them anyway.
Okay. And there are wine countries all over the world, and some are better than others. What about tea countries? Countries
countries
that grow tea, where the tea is superb, so you're getting like the Bordeaux of tea.
The Bordeaux of tea. One of the areas that I particularly like is in northern India. It's called Darjeeling.
Okay.
Very, very high-grown teas. They actually call that region the Champagne of teas. So they produce teas that are grown above, in a lot of cases, 6,000 feet above sea level. So very high up, which means the bushes grow very slow. The flavors tend to mature slowly. And then when they harvest the leaves, it produces a really light amber-colored cup, which we call muscatel, which is essentially grape nuts and a beautiful bouquet. It's clean, and Darjeeling lovers are crazy. They go to the ends of the earth to find the best cup of Darjeeling.
To find the best cup of Darjeeling.
Yeah, and that definitely is my category as well, too.
Okay, and health-wise, is there a tea that's better for us than another tea? A white tea, a green tea? They say green tea gets a lot of press, as you know. It does,
yeah. And the other thing about, the thing you need to know about tea is that the more you process the leaf, from going from white into black teas, because there's a processing, mechanical and oxidation going on, the more you process it, the less of the antioxidants. The less of the antioxidants are going to get in the cup.
Okay.
So if you want to drink tea for health benefits, you got to drink white tea. If you're drinking it for strength and cup character, you want to drink black tea, which is what typically we drink over here.
Right.
We don't really drink tea in Canada for health benefits. We drink it because it's strong and black.
And we need to get over stuff. And the Royals drink tea, and we have to wear our fascinator and go to high tea and all of that. It's just part of us, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. But the tea instructor, the tea sommelier program at Vancouver Community College right now, we've got 40 students coming through there, and it's amazing the transformation they've had with their knowledge of tea. Because they were traditional, a lot of them come in because they're, I love my brown Betty with my black cup of tea and my milk. And now they're drinking white teas and senchas and fukumushi steam greens and all that. It's been wonderful.
I even have a little tea whisk at my house to make the green, the matcha or something. You'll have to teach me more about that next time you show up.
So this is a fruit infusion, Fanny. It's nothing but what we saw here, just basically fruits. Look at the color of that. Isn't that nice?
Delicious. I thank you. Cheers.
You're welcome.
Here's to the Canucks beating the pants off those Bruins tomorrow.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. Tomorrow.